All right, so StreamYard says abundance, you are live. It is the 5th of March 2024. It's 7:02 in the PM on the continent of Africa. This is Chief Abundance. As mentioned earlier, a matter of fact, we should have had this dialogue, I think a month ago, and it was scheduled for last week, and we had to postpone it again for today. So I have two special guests, of course. They're in the medical field, abundance. Yes, I know a lot, but I try to um, to be a meaningful, specific here now. So today I will introduce both guests, of which they are the ones that will basically take the brunt of the questions. But as mentioned today in my broadcast, I am not a travel agency type leader. So I will not send you to places that I have not been. So I am a recipient of the Biophilia, Biotic Pro and DNA scan. I don't know if I did all of that, but that is what we will be discussing today, which is a non-invasive, non-radioactive diagnostic scan that basically, looks at all the systems in your body. Once it's in your body, this Biophilia Biotech Pro DNA scan will pick it up. And not only it will pick it up, but it also has the sophistication to be able to, diagnose future trend based on what it is seeing. So up to 5-10 years before the ailment or the disease manifests, this non-invasive, non-radioactive system can detect basically what will happen, what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen in the future. So I have done it. Sometimes men, we don't like to go to doctors. So I can tell you, I can count on one hand how many times I've seen the doctor, to be honest with you. And so you're welcome. Now, let me introduce the panelists, and I'm adding them now to the forum. We have Madame Maria. She's out of in North America region.
Thank
And
you.
of course, our executive coordinator in that region as well. And we have Dr. Brent. He's in our region as well. We call our region the Americas. We have North, Central, and South. And so we are known to be the Americas, with the Caribbean, everybody in between. And so we'll be dealing with a very serious and very important system, one that could, save lives, save generational lives, your children as well. And so we want you to um, get involved, take control. Brent is, you can even pay some part with TAC. As I always say, that we must give TAC usability. I've also asked the organizers here that they should at least give a week or two promo. I don't know if they have done it, though, so I'm putting them on the spot. So the first 50 people or the first 100 people, what will their price be? But don't blame you. I'm just putting them on the spot here right now. But many have done this test and they have gotten great results, including myself. I am still on my natural, a recommendation. So when people look at me, Brent, they think that I'm 25. You know, they don't know that they don't know that I am almost 100.
Oh my goodness.
I will die youthful. I refuse to grow old. Having all this technology around me. So I just want to thank you
Amen.
very much. So we have Brent, who is our technician out there, in the Caribbean. So I will turn over to Madam Maria, who will. I hope you're not sick. I hope you're hearing me.
Yes, I
You're hearing
am.
me, man? Okay, good.
Yes.
So,
Can you
Madam
hear me?
Maria, yes,
Okay.
yes, take it from there now.
Okay, so good afternoon to the global. Mm, mm, mm. My goodness. Uh Chief, you sound like a professional in the Biotic Pro. You have said so much, you have said everything. But what I really want, I'm serious. What I really want to say to our community, Chief, and well, first of all, thank you so much for spending your time to come and listen to us. This is very, very important for everyone here today, and more. The people who are not here, we have to find them and pass it on, especially the Tiashans, the young ones. What I have to say, Chief, is I have sponsored so many people in the Tiashan community. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
listen to this. I sponsored lots of people
Yeah, I think you're freezing.
Yeah, I think her
Yeah,
internet probably is dropping.
yeah, you are freezing, Madam Maria. All right. While she catch herself there, Brent, please introduce yourself and let the people know who you are. Just give us a background, and how were you introduced to this technology? Because this is very
Okay.
progressive for some of us. Who even I who have been through it, I still find it is so futuristic.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brent Diet. I am from the wonderful island of Trinidad and Tobago, so the Caribbean. And, I've been introduced to this technology. I've been involved in this area of health for over a decade, so roughly 11 going on 12 years now. And I
Okay.
was introduced to alternative health from the age of 12. And, in the Caribbean, what we would say, I used to help out an elderly woman where I used to feed her chicken and she could not have walked. And whenever she was ill, I would ask my mom to sleep over and take care of her. And it was then she'd teach me what plants and what herbs to use, what they were
Okay.
for, and how to use them. So at a young age, it was as if God was preparing me for this area in the future. But initially, I did not plan to come into the area of health, especially alternative health. I actually studied history. I was going to do law. And a Friday, when I got through to work in the law firm, I just felt like this wasn't it. And from there, I met my mentor, and he was connected to the United Nations. He was connected to the John Hopkins University. And it was from there he made the connections, and I was introduced to new cutting edge technology, so frequency medicine or energy medicine. And it was from there that I, connected with the Germans, the Russians, the
Mm.
Chinese, and they made me their trainer and distributor. So I'm connected to several companies in this area of health. So I have the benefit of merging different technologies into one. And I'm really amazed that, you were um, in Africa.
Yes.
I am in Trinidad, and I was able to
Yes.
scan you and tell you exactly what is happening in your body through
Yes.
frequency. And this evening, we'll be explaining and going into more in depth into how this technology works and how you can benefit from it. Yes, so that
Thank
is
you.
an introduction. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Right. So, as you mentioned there that you are in the Caribbean, I'm in Africa, and you were able to basically diagnose me. Now, when I looked at the many areas that your system would have captured, I mean, person will need to know how were you able to do it? Did I send you blood? Do I need to send you half of my finger, my nails, my eyelash, my hair? You know, how were you able to do it? Because you're talking about a system that can basically, diagnose whether you have allergy, how your immune system are functioning, you know, your visual, hearing, your gastrointestinal tract. I mean, you basically, you know, diagnose my entire body. So let the people know, because we said it is non-invasive.
Yes.
It also says that it is non-radioactive, and you know today nothing is done without being partly or partially invasive and radioactive, because you have to go to, every time you go to a scan, it is radioactive there. So tell the people, Brent, what is this technology all about, and how were you able to diagnose me in Africa without sending not even a blood nor urine nor stool? Because normally I remember for the first time I got sick when I was in New York in 2016. And I remember I went to which hospital now? Was it Jacobi? And then they sent me down to Montefiore, something like that, or Montefiore, then to Jacobi. And I remember that they sent my blood all over America, trying to figure out what was affecting my back, because that was it, you know. So I know I had to do test upon test upon test. Then they put me into MRI, you know, oh, that thing there, and I'm claustrophobic, so you can imagine. But the amount of pain I was actually in, it was seamless. But I went to a lot of tests, you know, for them to be able to come up with some diagnostic. And here I am in Africa, you are in the Caribbean, and you were able basically run through my body, my gastrointestinal tract, my urinal, my visual, my nervous system, my immunity, you know. So tell us, Ben, how were you able to do it, and how does this technology really works?
Okay, so it's very simple, and you know, I just got a message, Madam Cheryl, asked if we can allow it to enter again. Yes, but the human body functions based on frequency electricity. That's why sometimes you may touch a refrigerator, a car door, a knob, and you get shocked sometimes. Sometimes you wear clothing and there's static, there's electricity functioning in it. And technology is so advanced that you don't necessarily need to send me any blood or any physical DNA. What I did, I actually allowed you to take a photo, as we call it in the West, we call it selfie. So you took a selfie of yourself, a photo of just your face, send it to me, and I was able to connect it to our device, print it, and then scan and tell you exactly what is happening. And you know, I want to explain how that works. There are new devices where even in the army, they can detect a person's body heat. So sometimes when persons go to war, they may have these binoculars. They're looking at a building or a house at a distance, and they're looking to see if there is anyone there because they're looking at for their body heat. These devices can detect the person's body heat, but our eyes cannot see it. Similarly, the human body has a resonance, a frequency, a biofield, or the Chinese, and they call it an aura around it. Within that aura has all of our health history. And when a person takes a photo, it actually captures all of the person's health history in their aura or their
Wow.
resonance. And then you can now send it to me. I can now print it, connect it to our device, put in your basic information, and it would scan you and give me all the results or all the facts of what is happening in your body as if you were here in person. So it's very simple, it's very advanced, but it's amazing that you can be in a different country, a different state, a different region. You don't need to take any blood. So for persons who maybe don't like needles, you don't need to take any blood sample. You don't even need to send us a hair sample. All you need to do is just take a photo, send it to us, and we are able to scan you and tell you exactly what is happening in your body.
Now, yeah, we welcome back, Madam Cherry. But before I allow you to come in, and Brent, you can answer after Madam Cherry comes in. As you mentioned that it was via a selfie I took of myself, and with that selfie, you were able to basically dissect my body parts, and you could tell me what is going on in my cardio system, my nervous system. I mean, it was just amazing. Um, Plus, you were able to, based on what you gathered, and trust me, I was nervous, because men, we always think the worst. I don't know why. We always think the worst. Anytime we're going to medical, we always go beyond even what the doctor should be seeing. So, but it was good that, at least the test, came out, yeah, at least favorable, except you see something that you don't want to tell me. But at the end of the day, um, I also want you to speak to how do you address, because it's one thing to diagnose me, and that some people, they don't even like to go to doctors, so how the ones who would have diagnosed me, for, let's say I have, heaven forbid, cancer cells. If you based on what we have discussed, that this technology can basically tell you 10 years from now, 5 to 10 years from now, based on what it's picking up now. So in other words, it's a progressive system that can alter potential um, diseases, life threatening, if you can able to pick it up early. You see what I'm saying? And this technology has the capacity to be able to pre-diagnose, or to basically, is like a compass. It can tell you, based on what it's picking up in your body, where your body is going 10 years from now, if there's no changes. So I want you to tell the people, how were you able to be that progressive, that system, and what does the system looks for to be able to tell you now that 10 years down the road, this is what is going to happen. And also, having diagnosed, how the treatment, because at the end of the day, this is non-invasive,
Yes.
non-radioactive, but at the end of the day, I receive my natural products, of which I am using up to today. I know at one point we were talking about setting up naturopathic persons around Africa. Once person would have sent in their information, we could tap into the natural remedies in our local communities. They may not be the same name in North America or in other parts, but I believe that we'll be able to, compare because we're both tropical, So what is in Africa normally is in the Caribbean, in the West, but we have a different name. So I want you to keep all those things in mind there, Brother Brent. We don't have a lot of time, and the folks also need to ask questions. So, Madam Cheryl, you were saying something when you were lost in transmission. Madam Cheryl. Oh, she cannot hear. Wow. Ah. Um, can anybody? Let me see. Am
I'm
I
hearing
audible?
you though.
You can hear me, right, Brent? So,
Yes, I can.
Madam, I don't know, Madam Cheryl. We can you say something because we're not getting you. We're not getting you. Yeah, it seems like she's having some issue. Okay, so Brent, go straight ahead. Um, yeah, so that we don't waste time.
Okay, sure. Well, firstly, I know there are many persons who may be online, and you might think it's too good to be true, and
Yes.
this seems fictional. But the very fact that we are on StreamYard, we are in different parts of the world, and we can see each other and even hear each other is proof that technology is advanced and it brings us closer to even connect with each other, and that it can be beneficial. So each organ in the body functions at a certain frequency or a certain level. Whenever that function in the organ or that voltage drops, different health issues or diseases begin to occur at different levels. So let's say the heart functions at 20 hertz. When it drops to 19.99, a disease begin to occur. When it drops to 18, another health issue begin to occur. When it drops to 15, another health issue will begin to occur. So the machine scans the organ, it knows where it should be functioning at, and then it begins to diagnose based on where it's currently functioning. So it would look at certain things that would have happened in the past by showing up that it shows up in history. It would also see what is currently happening, and then based on how the trend or how the organ is performing, it begins to diagnose whether in 3 months' time, a month, a year, 3 years' time, if a health issue can occur. I remember in 2015, the very first time that I actually diagnosed a woman 3 years before she got cancer, the machine picked it up. There was this woman in Trinidad, and her name was Angela Mahabir. And I said, Miss Angela, I'm seeing that in 3 years' time, so you're going to get cancer in your colon. And she took the information, she went to the doctor and she did a biopsy, and they did not pick up any cancer at that time. And she didn't make any lifestyle changes. Literally 3 years and 1 month later, she took in, fell ill, and when she was hospitalized and they did a biopsy, she was fourth stage cancer of the colon. And we picked it up 3 years before, warned her. So that is one of the ways that we can detect health issues that are currently happening and that are about to happen. Um, Also, we use only natural remedies, herbs, solutions. So we use herbs, we put you on natural diet plans. And the Bible says that the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nation. So we
Nation.
believe in God's creation principles that the plants are for our healing and our medicine. And what we do, we look for supplements that are natural. And as Mr. Chief Abundance would have said, that we are planning to work with some of your local naturopaths or naturopathic doctors where we can identify certain herbs and recommend these herbs. It'll be a lot cheaper than actually having to buy a product and ship it to your location. So that is how we can diagnose what is currently happening, what is about to happen, and we treat it naturally. No pharmaceuticals, no drugs. Everything is natural. And I believe that once you give the body what it needs, the body is designed to heal itself.
All right. I want to thank you there, Mr. Brent. I want to also bring in those who might have questions, um, how they can get the information. I know I sent the information to on my forum, but this video, of course, others will watch it after it is being recorded. We have Madam Maria. Are you back? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well now. I'm using a different device, so let's see if that's going to
Okay,
work
good,
better.
good, good, good,
Yes.
good. So I have to. I'm going to leave you guys for a couple seconds to put on my security lights. I thought I put them on. So so we were. I believe you would have followed us anyway. The questions and
Yes.
the answers given. All right. So as mentioned before, Madam Maria is basically the coordinator here, where this biophilia, biotech, DNA scan is concerned, and we want all our people throughout, Africa to get ahead in this technology because it has the potential of saving lives. So let's not lose our people um, for lack of knowledge. And of course, we will talk about the price, and we already spoke about yes, you have to get the natural remedy. I imported mine from the States, but not everybody um, maybe can do it. But if you can, then it can be shipped from the States. But even now, even the bottles, called one of them is a detox and it is liquid. And there are a lot of companies now not trying to do liquid. So, Madam Cheryl, give us your take there. Let me go and put on my security lights.
Sure. Thank you so much. I apologize for the breakage there because there was a power outage. We had 3 bleeps before it actually went out, and we have bad weather, so I'm expecting the worst anyway. But anyway, what I was going to say is that we have to understand the importance of our health, not only our health, but the maintenance of our health. Because without health, you don't have anything, and you won't be able to have a quality of life that you need to enjoy your wealth. Now, as I was saying, before that happened, before we had the outage, I have actually personally sponsored so many people in my country. And out of that, 11 of them have passed. Now, these people were very dear to me, and these people actually, 2 of them have had the roadmap of my vision for St. Lucia. This is where I came from. And see, they've already gone. Now, I'm saying to the Tiashans, especially the younger ones, Mr. Abundance is not going to live forever. I am not going to live forever. Neither is Brent. We have to teach by example so we can pass on what we know to the younger people so they can carry it on. It doesn't make sense for us to not pay attention to our health. I tell people every day, if you don't know about something, then you don't know. You're just clueless. If you know about it and you don't do anything about it, it's your fault. Mr. Abundance can take us to the water all day long, but he cannot force us to drink it. Yeah? Now, the thing about it is that if you know about how to take care of your health and you refuse to, or you don't bother, or it's not important to you, you are just committing suicide. Because the thing about it is this technology has everything. Chief, this technology to diagnose a patient, the normal price is $3,000. I have checked it out all over where it is available, but we made it affordable to our Tiashans, especially because we want them to increase their health so that they can be, they have longevity, one, and then they can be of example to the little ones, the younger ones. Somebody has to carry on the baton. And if they don't, then we're just going to fall apart. What's the point of even having the Tiashan committee? You see what I mean? So
Mhm.
let us take care. Let us take care of our health. Let us be mindful of the things that we need to give priority to. If we don't, then we are nothing. Look at my friends who have passed. And I can sit here and cry all day over them passing, but what can I do now? If they knew better, they would have done better. So now that we have the tools in our hands, we know better, let's do better. Over to you, Chief.
Yes. All right. Um, yes. I want to thank you, Madam Chair, for that one. I'm going to. We have asked a lot of questions. As I mentioned before, that I've been through the scanning process. I've been through the process before. I'm a recipient, so I'm speaking from first-hand information. And so I wish that everyone should do it. I believe we will tell you, those of you who are interested, in what you need to do. One person did mention to me when we first were trying to run this, if a church group a church wants to, because for example, um, the Seventh Adventist Church, of which I am a part of for many years, also was the youth leader for many years, and were able to do all kinds of innovative programs to keep the young people attention and to you basically resurrect an entire department. So, and when the person spoke about, how if they want to bring this information to the church, to the society, how can it be done? And so but that was one of the questions, because there are a lot of groups and organizations that would like information such as these, because they also have their own questions. And so if a group, for example, AY, the young people, because I know, because I've done these things so many times, we can have an entire main feature around different health issues. I know I used to bring in specialists that deal with prostate cancer for men. I've brought in, naturopathic personnel from the medical field, just to talk to the young people and different professionals. So if let's say an organization wants to uh, you, a presentation of this nature, what do they need to do?
Well, simply they can contact Miss Cheryl, Miss Marie, and from there we can put things in place to do that presentation. We actually have a presentation available that we can share. We do to groups, churches, businesses, etc.
Okay, all right. Okay, I just posed that question there. Okay, um, uh, may I welcome again the global community? I know many people will watch it after it is finished. We don't want to be long, because we want people to be able to go through it. In terms of what is the cost as a Tiashan, if I want to do this thing, what do I do? Tell me. I am interested. I want my scan done. What should I do? What's first? What's second? And how long does the process takes for me to get my results?
Okay, let me take that. Thanks. So the cost of the scan is 275 US dollars. However, we do $250 in US, that's cash, and $25 worth of tax. So the $25 is going to be based on the price, the current price of tax. This is why, Chief, we cannot really set an amount for tax. We have to look at
Certainly.
we have
Just
to
put it
look at the current.
In the US form. That's okay.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. So it's 275,
Because if,
250 in
because
cash.
when one tag goes to $25, when one tag goes to $25, it's just one tag. Go ahead.
That's right. Yes. So it is that's it. And then as far
Yeah,
as the
I was asking, apart from the fees, which is 275, 250 US, 75 25 dollars in tax. How do they get the money? What mean to Western Union, to the bank, to
so
PayPal?
it will have to be either via PayPal or a wire transfer to the bank account.
Okay, can they pay in cryptocurrency as well?
Oh
Bitcoin.
yes, sure.
All
Yes,
right. So
they can pay
you
in
can pay
crypto,
in Bitcoin and you can pay in cash. All
in
right.
cash.
And
That's it.
wire transfer or PayPal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Now I also asked about the the time. The if I do my scanning today, how long it will take me to get the results?
Okay, it normally takes 3 days, but if we see anything that needs direct attention, we can make reservations for that and deliver in 1 day.
Say that again.
Okay, so the results normally takes 3 days, up to 3 days to be sent out to the client. But if we see something really tragic in a diagnosis, we can make it available in 1 day and contact the person because some people might need immediate treatment. So we don't delay on that.
All right. Oh, okay. That is very critical. Indeed. Once you would have sent in your requirements, and also the required fees, then in three working days is what it takes. Again, if it is of an importance, then now let's say, Brent, that you have somebody with high blood pressure, low blood pressure, somebody that is developing glaucoma, or prone is on a trajectory, for cancer. Is there any remedy? I mean, how is there recommendation? And have you able to pull anyone back from the brink, from that precipice? You understand what I'm saying? You're going over all the stars, all the pointers have lined up. This is where you're going. So were you able to to detect, diagnose, and bring back anybody from over the bridge?
Yes, so definitely. Firstly, as I mentioned before, that we believe that there are no incurable diseases. That
You're
once
breaking.
you hear me clearly now,
You're breaking now. You're very weak.
um, Miss Maria, are you hearing me? Am I weak? Are you
Yes.
hearing me?
Now I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay,
Okay.
go on.
Yes. So what I was saying is that firstly, we believe that there are no incurable diseases. That once you give the body what it needs and create the right environment, the body will heal itself. When as it relates to, we have many persons who were scheduled to do triple bypass surgery and many cardiovascular issues, and we introduce natural products. One of it is a product called Blockbuster that is a natural form of chelation. So in other words, it acts like a bulldozer in clearing the arteries. so that it deals with hypertension and other cardiovascular issues. There is this video that I'm showing here. It says what? Cancer is
Cancer is
curable
curable.
now. Right. This is a DVD that I also present to persons who we are treating with cancer. And generally, once we apply the natural approach, they stay away from certain foods and they make the necessary changes, we have seen 80 to 90% success and total turnover, where the person came over from the bridge into safety and there's no longer any trace of it in your body and their health has been restored. So we have protocols, we have diet plans, we have natural supplements and remedies that we can recommend to the person to assist them in obtaining good health and maintaining good health.
All right. We want to thank you for that question. I think that the all the questions have been answered, even from the Tiashan standpoint. Madam Maria, could you please give us again the contact information where people can contact you?
Sure. On WhatsApp, it is 713-530-5283. PayPal is going to be, well, you know what? I can write it in the chat, huh?
Okay. Yeah, you can write it, and you can also say it. Not everybody can have eyes to see, but they can listen. They might
They
have
can
ears to hear.
That's true. So
Yes.
with PayPal, the email is going to be pause plus 101 at Gmail, and I will spell that. It's PAWZPLUS101 at gmail.com.
Okay. All right. So you have having the contact information, and you have basically been given the cost, which is 275. For those of you who are not a Tiashan that will listen, I guess it's 275. But if you're a Tiashan, it's 250, and of course you pay the balance intact. We just want to again thank you for in attendance, and of course you now have the information that we have a technology that can basically split you open without touching you. And this is, what gets me, because I remember when I was in Jacobi, they sent me back to no to when I was in Montefiore, they sent me back to Jacobi, I think, to do what you call a bone biopsy. And when I see that long needle, when I saw that long needle, I say, have mercy. So they have to inject me to kill the spot where they're going to put that needle. So non-invasive, non-radioactive DNA scan that basically tells you what is going on in your body. Brent, please, your last word in terms of the system, and some people like me, we are afraid. We are afraid when it comes to medical things, I can tell you. So make it palatable for people like me, to show up, to be knocking. Yes, I beg you, make it. The Africans say, "I beg you," and the Nigerians, they can put their hand on their head. So please.
Yes. So it's non-invasive. So just as you are afraid of needles, so you don't need any needles. You don't need to be in any confined space for persons who may be claustrophobic. Some persons do CT scans and MRIs, and they have to be in a confined environment. All you simply do is take a photo send it to Miss Marie and your personal information, and we can tell you exactly what is happening. But the good thing, there is no need to be afraid. Whatever health issue or challenges you may be experiencing, there are natural remedies, natural solutions that wouldn't cause you or cost you much, and you wouldn't even need to do surgery in many cases. So it prevents you from having to go under the knife and go through any discomforting experience. So it's new technology. We can also not only see what is happening, but we can also treat you remotely. Just
Wow.
as, yes, we can treat you remotely, just as you are seeing me. And when I move from one side to the other, you are seeing my movement where you are. Similarly, we can treat you. And just as there's a connection in the internet where you are connected to me and we see each other, we can treat you and you will receive it wherever you are. So, yes, so thank you so much. And we look forward to working with you.
All right, we want to thank you, dear Brent, for that information. So there you go, folks. Those of you who wants to take part of this innovative, progressive system, one that I have tested and has proven to live up to his expectation, and that's why I can, bring it to the global community because I have tested it. I have proven that whatever is being mentioned is what they have done and more and more. And so, if you think that you have issues, and one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Brent, is that um, have you ever had any cases or case where person take your diagnosis to their medical doctor?
Yes, we have. Some doctors are not they are not exposed to this technology. But what I can say, when they compare it to their scans and their reports, it aligns. So it is practically similar to what they're seeing. And very often it detects it long before they detect it. So we can work not only curatively, but we can work preventatively.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much for those of you who have joined us, and those of you who will listen to this audio after we would have ended this broadcast. This is Chief Abundance with my guest, Brent, the naturalist or naturopathic. Um, a naturopathic in out of the Caribbean, and of course our coordinator there for the U.S. in TAC, who is also a medical practitioner in the medical sense. I think she's also going natural, just like Brento, but it's okay. All right. So thanks again for joining us. This is Chief Abundance. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you.